Hello everyone. Today I've got a game of Homefront for you. This is Ground Control on Angel Island. This is a game I had mentioned in one of my earlier videos where I did a little bit of sniping in this game. It's something you guys have never seen from me before. Now, I'm not even going to pretend and say I'm Grizz or anything else because I'm really not that great of a sniper. But I did bring out the sniper rifle because, as I mentioned before, this map is incredibly sniper friendly. And I didn't start out with it. I initially started out with my assault rifle, mainly because I wanted to make sure I captured the B domination point early on, because that is one of the hardest spots to control once these snipers all get into position. And I'm sure you guys have noticed by now that I did create a little bit of a different introduction for my videos. And for anyone that also has been to my channel page since yesterday, I did change up my channel background as well. Yesterday was just one of those, rainy, dreary days. I slept till around noon. It was, I guess my body needed some rest, I'm not sure, but yeah, I slept till around noon yesterday, and like I said, it was just rainy and dreary out. I really didn't have anything on my agenda that I needed to get done around the house, so I just decided, after poking around on YouTube and playing around my computer for a while, that, you know what, I'm going to pull up Adobe After Effects and Photoshop and just play around a little bit and see what I can come up with that might be a little bit more interesting. And mainly because my channel page was pretty dark before, and initially I really liked the way the color layout worked, but the more and more I looked at it, it was just a little too dark and some of the text on it was a little bit too difficult to read, so I simplified it somewhat and changed some of the colors around. You guys can let me know if you like it or not. So I do have a couple other ones that I was toying around with as well, some other different, I was doing a black and gray thing, and I was doing a couple other things in there, and I might mix it up from time to time just to change things up and keep things interesting. Mainly because I get bored and I just like playing around with it, and I learn a couple new things here and there, and I want to experiment. Same thing with my introduction. The first one I had done with the orange and I guess, beige tones, I really liked the lightning effect, but I really didn't know if it was possible to animate it or how to do it. So I poked around a little bit online yesterday and read a couple tutorials, and I learned that you could animate it, so I did that. And lightning really shouldn't be a beige color or an orange color, so I basically made a blue type background, and I kept the same music and everything else. Like I said, it's something I'm going to play around with from time to time and just experiment with and change it up. And I'm definitely not going to be one of those guys that makes one intro and sticks with it for months and months and months. Playing around with those programs is kind of fun. You always learn something new every time you do it. So let me know what you guys think of it. Like I said, I may keep it, I may not, we'll see. And like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a sniper gameplay as the game progresses. But I'm really not going to talk too much about the gameplay. The gameplay, of course, always speaks for itself. In my last video I had done where I talked about, when is it time to get out of a bad relationship, you guys had asked me why I decided to cheat when the one time I had mentioned it before. Like I said, my record is not flawless. I did cheat on one girlfriend. Did I cheat once? I cheated twice on the same girl, but I'll get into that and explain that to you a little bit. Over the course of my life, like I said, I am 37 now, and my dating life really started in earnest when I was 17. And like I said, it's a little bit of a process. You go through different cycles as far as how you view your relationships and what you want from relationships and what you put into them, what you get out of them. When I first started my dating career, I guess, or dating life, career isn't really a great word, but it fits, I guess. Most of the girls I had met, I really thought every girl that I had met for the first couple of years of my dating life was it. I was going to give this girl my all, and I had to have this girl, and I was going to do whatever it took to make her happy and be with her and everything else. That held true for my high school girlfriend, and I had mentioned another girl named Jen that I was very interested in, but it just never really quite worked out between us, and I was hooked on her for quite some time, even though I had dated a couple other women along the way. But around the time I was 19, I had started a job in the computer business. I had gotten a job at a local mom and pop computer store, and there were a couple, younger people that were hired to, work the shelves, customer service, and cashiers. And one of the younger girls that got hired there, she was 16 at the time, and I have to say, guys, I mean, this girl was gorgeous. Her and I had flirted a lot. Obviously, I was 19, I had my car, and her and her best friend, who had gotten hired there as cashiers, were 16. They didn't have a car yet, so obviously you could see the appeal there for why they were, interested or attracted to me. And like I said, obviously her looks did it for me immediately. And she was just a lot of fun. She was very athletic, and her family was great. And obviously we did start dating, and we were together for, I want to say, somewhere around like 2.5 years, something like that, maybe 2 years. Like I said, my memory's a little bit fuzzy because that we're talking about what I'm 37 now, and I met this girl when I was 19. But around this time, I was going through one of those little mini cycles where I wasn't going to take any relationship or girl I met too seriously. I was just going to date them casually and for fun, and whatever came of it, came of it. If it worked out, great. If it didn't work out, that's fine too. But as this girl and I continued to date, obviously my feelings for her, continued to grow. The one catch or problem was that I was her first serious boyfriend, and I don't know if it was just simple nervousness, fear, or whatever the case may be. But she said that, as far as the sexual aspect went, that she did not want to, go, all out there in the sexual area until she was married. So, I mean, obviously, we were younger. I was 19, she was 16, so we still obviously had our hormones raging. So we did a lot of a lot of other stuff. We pretty much did everything else except for, actual, sexual intercourse, if you want to call it that. We never actually went all the way. For someone that's 19, working through 20, that's kind of difficult to take. But like I said, my feelings for her did develop after the first, 3 to 6 months. So, my mindset was beginning to change, and I thought this was, a girl that I could be with for a long time. And actually, I was thinking about marriage possibilities. But we did start to develop some problems around the end of that second year when I turned 21 and she was 18. She was graduating from high school, and obviously me turning 21, I was able to, go to bars and whatnot. And all of my friends were either 21 or 22 years old. They were all around the same age as me, so obviously they wanted to, hit the bar scene a little bit, check out some of the clubs. But they also were very understanding of the fact that, I really care about this girl. And when she was going to come out with us, they were more than willing to do something simple and, not necessarily go to a bar. But she knew on the days that, she wasn't going to go out on a Friday or Saturday night, or she wasn't feeling well, or she had other plans with her parents, or whatever the case may be, that, if I went to a bar, she wasn't too happy about it. And one night I had went to a bar with some of my coworkers, and I had met one of their friends who was very attractive. Her and I hit it off almost immediately. Needless to say, as the night went on, her and I began making out like there was no tomorrow. But I really wasn't willing to, go all the way with her and, cheat entirely. I felt bad enough about what I had done already. But as time went on with me and my girlfriend, the fights continued, and I could feel her pulling away a little bit because we were so serious, and her family was talking about marriage and everything else, and she was starting to get spooked about it. And shortly after I graduated from high school, I dated this one girl, and she had a little bit younger sister. It was a couple years younger than her, and she was always a really cute girl, and she had became friends with my sister. And one night, my sister had her over. She was going to spend the night. I was about 21, and she was 18 at the time. And I kind of knew what I was going to do right from the jump, because like I said, I was 21 years old, I wasn't really having sex, and I really wanted some sex, and I was always attracted to this girl in some way. So I had picked up some wine coolers for them and some beer for me, picked up a couple movies, because I really didn't have anything else going on that night, and I figured, let me give this a shot and see what happens. So I hung out with them, watched a movie that night, and obviously, they both got a little bit of a buzz going from the wine coolers, and I had a little bit of a buzz from the beer. And my sister had went upstairs, and I saw this girl, moving her head from side to side. So, being the kind soul that I am, I offered her a neck and shoulder rub. And once I get my hands on your shoulders and neck and that massage begins, pretty much that's all she wrote. So, needless to say, that's pretty much what, happened. Once I kept, the massage going, her and I started making out. My sister had come back down the stairs for a moment, saw her and I kissing, and thankfully she just said goodnight and turned around, went right back up the stairs, and the rest is pretty much history. That's how I cheated on my girlfriend back then. Obviously, the girl I had been dating and I split up anyhow. She never found out I cheated, but the talk of marriage at that young of an age was too much for her, and she broke it off. But I'm happy to be able to say that I never once again cheated since. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll talk to all of you soon, and I hope you have a good one.